focused on healing our spirit, mind, and body, which will contribute to the healing of our nation as a whole. Sip a cup of tea, wear your favorite turban, tee, or tunic, and enjoy tea time with Hebrew royalty. Tea Time with Hebrew Royalty features remedies for inner healing and outer beauty. Real-time conversations with sisters in the Hebrew Israelite community, focused on healing our spirit, mind, and body, which will contribute to the healing of our nation as a whole. Sip a cup of tea, wear your favorite turban, tee, or tunic, and enjoy tea time with Hebrew Royalty. She's got the fruits of the spirit, love, joy, and peace. She's got long suffering, gentleness, and goodness, endurance, faith, and meekness too. Hebrew royalty. She's got the fruits of the spirit. She's got the fruits of the spirit, love, joy, and peace. She's got long suffering, gentleness, and goodness, endurance, faith, and meekness too. Hebrew royalty. She's got the fruits of the spirit.
Shalom, 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 sisters. Come on in, Shebrews. Come on in with your beautiful royal selves. Sister Carla, you are here. You are right on time, my sister. You are right on time as usual. As usual, you said you are ready for another engaging conversation. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's the attitude to show up with. Sister Ashley is here. Shalom, sis. Shalom. Shalom. Wow. You all are showing up and showing out. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome. Come on in. As you come in, please, please, please do me a favor. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we go live, if you haven't already done so. And phone a sister and let her know that we are live. And we have another exciting show tonight. We really do. We really do have a very, very informative. That's the way I'm going to phrase it. We have a very informative show scheduled for tonight. So come on in, sisters. And as you come in, please do me a favor. Please, please, please post something in the chat. Let me know that you're here. Say shalom. Say Khan. Say, how are you? Just let me know that you are here so that I can give you a shout out. late. And thank you for being here on time. The water. So let us get this Hebrew royalty party started. So let's do this. Sister Johnny is here. Shalom, sis. Good to see you as well. Good to see you as well. Yes, shalom. It's so good to see you all. Oh my goodness, the water sisters. But before we go any further, let's do this. Let's do this. You all help me give a big shout out, a praise to the Almighty. AHAYAH, AHAYAH. I am that I am, the God of the Hebrews and the Shebrews, in the name of His Son YASHAYA, whom the world calls Jesus Christ. Yeah, let's give him a huge shout out for bringing us back here another Sunday, another first day of the week. This is a great way to start the week, I think. What do you think? Isn't this a wonderful way to start the day? Start the week, I should say. Yes, I am your hostess, Kwala Yakaka, and I humbly thank you for joining me on this broadcast tonight. Yes, come on in. Let's talk. Let us have a conversation. How was your week? How was your week? How was your Shabbat? I pray that you all had a productive week and a restful Shabbat, right? So we are getting ready to get this new week started. And I know for all of us, it's always so busy. So when the Shabbat comes around, it is, oh my gosh, it is such a blessing to have that day of rest. And then Sunday, this is another bonus day that a lot of us have that get the full weekend off, right? So I am just so thankful that you all are here with me to start off this week. Sister Diane says, Shalom. Yes, Diane Lewis is here. Got you, sis. Got you, sis. All praises to the Most High. Yes, all praises. Sister Carla says, child, Shabbat was amazing. That's what I'm saying. Yes, Sister Johnny, yes, very blessed beyond measure. Yes, I agree. I am telling you, praise the Most High. Praise the Most High for a beautiful Shabbat. And I know going into this new week, we have the right attitude. And because of that, I believe that we are all going to have a very blessed week. What do you all think? So let me get into these disclaimers. Let's start by saying what this channel is not. So Tea Time with Hebrew Royalty is not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. If you happen upon this channel and you realize that you don't agree with our beliefs and our lifestyle, that's also okay. Just keep searching YouTube, and I am sure that you will find your perfect cup of tea and your perfect flavor. You owe that to yourself. And I'm sure that if you continue your search, you will do just that. You will find exactly what you are looking for. But what I do ask is please do not leave any insults, any derogatory statements or comments in the comment box. That would be distasteful. We would really appreciate that, and we thank you in advance for that. And also, although I am a certified and licensed physician assistant and functional nutrition informed professional, and I will be touching on topics of health and wellness on my broadcast, such as tonight, we will not be utilizing this platform to diagnose or treat anyone's illnesses. If you are experiencing any medical problems, please consult your healthcare practitioner. And the views that you will hear on this channel are the views of myself and my guests, and not those of any particular church or organization. One more thing, if you would like to be a guest on Tea Time with Hebrew Royalty, please send me an email to HebrewRoyaltyBiz@gmail.com and include a brief description of your business, your product, your service that you provide, or a topic that you are interested in co-hosting. And let me go ahead and get on the banner here. Let me get my email address there for you. HebrewRoyaltyBiz@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you and brainstorm on how we can collaborate to help heal and strengthen Hebrews throughout the four corners of the earth, which will ultimately contribute to the healing of our nation as a whole. So there is my email address, HebrewRoyaltyBiz@gmail.com. Include a brief description of your business, your product or service that you provide, or a topic that you are interested in co-hosting. And I also thank you in advance for that. All right, let us keep it moving. So let's go ahead and get started with this video, My Guardian Doc. Every week I show this video. Why? Because they're my sponsor. And I do believe in the service that they provide. And I hope that you will take a moment to not just watch the video, but go to their website sometime and check out the services that are available. So let's get this on the screen for you. Here we go.
Life can throw unexpected curveballs. When it comes to your family's health, you need someone in your corner. Introducing My Guardian Doc. Your virtual medicine program provides compassionate medical guidance and world-class care around the clock. Within minutes, talk to a licensed physician. We are My Guardian Doc. All our doctors are guided by our Patient Safety and Care Equity Council, whose mission is to ensure you receive safe and equitable care. For just $27 per month, your entire household gains access to a team of dedicated medical professionals. Whether it's just sniffles or sneezes, medication refills, or a question about diagnosis or treatment, or the need to speak to a behavioral health specialist in the privacy of your home, no concern is too big or too small. My Guardian Doc is here to help you. No surprise fees, no hidden costs, just quality care when you need it most. With My Guardian Doc, for just $27 per month, your entire household's associated benefits include immediately lower micromort count, which is your 1 in a million chance of dying, on-demand access to doctors, reduce healthcare costs, improve healthcare outcomes, decreased visits to the hospital or emergency room, increase your lifespan, and gain peace of mind knowing your family's health is always protected. From urgent care, primary care, medical guidance, prescription discounts, hospital bill negotiation, and much more, My Guardian Doc is here for you every step of the way. Millions of people have expressed a need for My Guardian Doc. Join the fastest growing subscription service. Visit myguardiandoc.com to subscribe today, because your family's health deserves the best.
So that is My Guardian Doc. And for more information, as the video says, please visit the website at myguardiandoc.com. And to sign up for coverage, you can find the subscription link for Tea Time with Hebrew Royalty viewers in the description box below this video. Once again, myguardiandoc.com. All right, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit those buttons, hit those buttons, hit the like button. Right now, everyone that is in here, do me a favor and right now, hit that like button. If you haven't already done so, please, please, please hit that like button. I will really appreciate it. All right, share these videos. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And hit that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we go live. So that being said, I hope that you're wearing your favorite turban, tee, tunic, or dress. And, let's sip some tea and have some healthy talk. Okay, let us do that. Let's get this royal tea party started. So, the question of the night. The question of the night is always, what is your cup of tea tonight? Or glass of tonic? What is it that you're sipping on tonight? What is your cup of tea? Talk to me. Post in that comment box. I would like to know what your cup of tea is tonight. And my tea choice tonight is red chai tea. Red chai tea. And I have my red chai tea here. And it has some Chobani creamer. And it is, yes, healthy and delicious, of course. And we are going to learn 5 reasons to drink chai tea today. And this video is from Foods for Health. 5 reasons to drink chai tea today. So let's see what the reasons are why I'm drinking chai tea tonight. Let's see. Sister Diane says Thai tea with boba. Yes. PG, is it PG Imani? PG Imani, Shalom. Shalom says pomegranate lemonade. Oh my gosh, that sounds super delicious. Pomegranate lemonade. Yum. Oh, I want some of that. I sure want some of that pomegranate lemonade. That really sounds delicious. Shalom. Shalom says. So yes, let us watch this video. 5 reasons to drink chai tea today by Foods for Health.
Chai tea has been popular for generations due to its wonderful and distinct taste. Like other healthy tea varieties, such as green and oolong tea, chai tea not only tastes great, but also offers distinct health benefits. Chai tea is especially beneficial for our health due to its wonderful blend of other spices such as fennel, cardamom, clove, cinnamon, and more. Let's discuss some of the amazing health benefits of drinking chai tea regularly. First, chai tea can help to improve the overall health of our heart and cardiovascular system. This is due to the amazing combination of ingredients that it contains. Drinking chai tea can help to reduce the total levels of cholesterol, and perhaps more importantly, bad LDL cholesterol. It can also help to significantly lower triglycerides in the body, lower blood pressure, and reduce the risks of heart disease. Like other healthy teas, chai tea is also packed with an incredible amount of antioxidants. It contains potent antioxidant compounds known as polyphenols, which work to rid the body of damaging free radicals that can cause cell damage and lead to oxidative stress. These powerful antioxidant compounds can also help to improve heart health and reduce the risk of developing other diseases. Suffering from pain associated from symptoms of arthritis, then drinking chai tea regularly may be able to help. This is because chai tea is loaded with anti-inflammatory properties and compounds, which not only help to eliminate inflammatory causing diseases, but also help to reduce pain associated with arthritis. This is often attributed to the combination of ingredients such as clove, cinnamon, and ginger. Even more, these anti-inflammatory properties can reduce inflammation in the body and promote healthy-looking skin. Regular consumption of chai tea can also help to treat symptoms associated with nausea. This is because chai tea contains ginger, which has potent properties when it comes to treating an upset stomach. The ginger found in chai tea can help to reduce nausea, vomiting, and other gastrointestinal disorders. As well, the bioactive compounds found in chai tea can also relieve symptoms of an upset stomach. Lastly, drinking chai tea consistently can also help to improve digestion. This is attributed to the black pepper that is found within the tea. Black pepper can help support pancreas health and promote the secretion of digestive enzymes when consumed. This allows chai tea to help promote the digestion of both protein and fats efficiently. As well, chai tea can support the proper functioning of the gut and promote its overall health. Be sure to discuss with your medical practitioner to make sure chai tea is right for you and the correct dosage. Thank you for watching the video. Please like, comment, and share. If you would like to hear about more healthy foods and food and beauty tips, please subscribe to the channel. Have a great day. Chai.
Those are some excellent reasons to drink chai tea today and every day, as a matter of fact, right? Heart health, gut health, anti-inflammatory, all of that, those great benefits, high in antioxidants. Yes, that's a good reason to drink chai tea regularly. May not be every day because we feature so many delicious and healthy teas on this channel every week. So it's really difficult to, oh my gosh, my tea cabinet is full of so many different types of teas. And it's like, which tea am I going to drink now? Which one am I going to have now? And I'm constantly still looking for more teas. Why? Because I really enjoy tea. I really enjoy drinking tea. And I mean, the benefits that come with it, it's a no-brainer, right? Sister Carla says she's drinking water today, and that's excellent. Gotta have the water. Gotta stay hydrated, of course. So yes, we allow you to drink water on this show. Water is permitted. So sisters, let's talk about last week's show. What do you think about last week's show? Talk to me. Drop some comments in those comment boxes. Come on. Let us talk about last week's show. Broken Toy Soldiers. What do you all have to say about that show? Talk to me. David brought out so much thought-provoking information, and you know, I'm still so mind-boggled of some of the things that that we discussed last week. What did you think about that show? I think it was really like bomb. It was a really good show. I really believe it was. It was, like I said, it was just so much information. We went on for almost, I think it was like 3 hours. It was about a 3-hour show last week and the previous week as well. Yes. Sister Diane says it was very informative. I received The Gift of Fear book. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I received mine as well. And some of the other sisters also texted me and let me know that they've got their Gift of Fear book. And yes, I can't wait to really immerse myself into that book. Sister Carla says, I am still thinking about B&A sacrifices. Sis, I think that was one of, the most mind-boggling things that was brought out that night. I really do. When I learned about that, it was, like I said, he and I had spoken prior to that, and he had brought out about the sacrifice. And I am telling you something. When I learned that, that really opened my mind up to so many other things that we don't even know. We think that we're thinking one thing, but on the other hand, it's something else. And so what I decided to do, I actually went ahead and looked up the definition myself. And I went to the online etymology dictionary, And just as he said, that's what I found. I was just flabbergasted when he first told me what the meaning of victim is, according to the Latin. So I looked it up on the online etymology dictionary, and it says victim. From the late 15th century, it means living creature killed and offered as a sacrifice to a deity or supernatural power, or in the performance of a religious rite. And it's from the Latin word victima, which means sacrificial animal, person or animal killed as a sacrifice. And then it says a word of uncertain origin. Once again, that's from the online etymology dictionary. And that was the definition that I found in there for victim, just as, like I said, just as he mentioned last week. So I thought, wow, what else do we not know? We don't know what we don't know until we find out what we didn't know. How's that? Does that make some sense? Sister Johnny says, I didn't get around to watching the recording. I'll catch up this week. All praises. Yes, Sister Johnny. It was a very eye-opening show. And I know myself, I learned a lot from that show. I really did. So, just like the previous two shows, I truly believe that tonight's show, again, is going to be eye-opening for many of us. And this whole month's topic, broken toys, what word do I use here? It's really enlightening. It's been really enlightening. Let me just put it that way. Sister Carla says, Khan, you don't know what you don't know. Exactly. You don't know what you don't know until you find out what you didn't know. So yeah, that's it. So the book review, how many of you besides Sister Diane has bought the book, The Gift of Fear? So I purchased it myself. I have it right there on my bookshelf over there, just waiting. And I can't wait to start reading it. How many of you will be interested in reading the book and us having a discussion about it? How many of you would be interested in doing that? Reading the book, and then we have a discussion about the book. Sister Carla says, can't wait to dive into my book. Yes. So if you're interested in that, in reading the book, and then we can just have an online chat discussion about the book. What were your favorite parts? What was the most enlightening? I'll just throw some questions out there once we get done reading the book. So let me know if you're interested in doing that. So before we jump into tonight's topic, I just wanted to take a moment to revisit some of the key points in our two previous episodes in the Broken Toys series. So Sister Carla says, let's do it. Book club, Khan. Yeah, that will be cool. I think that will be cool. I really think so, because I really want to see what is in this book. I mean, if we've already been floored just by one word, I can just imagine what else is in this book that we don't know. And that is going to really give us a little bit more information and enlighten us about this whole trauma topic. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's do that. If you're interested, just drop your icon or something in the comment box, and we'll talk about when we start reading the book and what our goal as far as the deadline is, so that we can have an online discussion about the book and what we learned. So in episode 1, Picking Up the Pieces, we covered the definition of trauma and how trauma leads to brokenness, specifically focusing on emotional and mental brokenness. We also talked about the fact that the severity of the trauma will determine the extent of the damage of the brokenness and that one may experience, and the time that it may take for them to recover. Not given any specific time frame, but based on the severity. Some traumas we discuss, some people can bounce back real quickly from, and others, for others, it may be a lifelong struggle because of the extent of the damage that was caused by the trauma. We also talked about how broken people present emotionally, mentally, and physically. And lastly, we touched on the importance of forgiveness being the major part of recovery. So those are some of the things that we talked about in episode 1. And there was so much more information that we went into that I can't even delve into right now. So if you haven't already seen that show, I encourage you to watch it ASAP. That one was Broken Toys, Picking Up the Pieces. That was episode 1. On episode 2, we focused primarily, like we just talked about, on the traumas that primarily military soldiers and veterans have experienced and how the traumas contribute to their brokenness as well. And we went back to, like the Vietnam War and some of the long-lasting effects that we saw that we continue to see from the traumas that were inflicted on the veterans then, and even the wars since then and leading up to where we are today. And so that one was Broken Toy Soldiers, episode 2. So if you haven't seen that also, please take some time to go back and watch both of these episodes. And the part, like I said, the part that really resonated with me in last week's show was the etymology of the word victim. That really resonated with me, amongst some other things. But I really believe that stuck out like a sore thumb. So I know that I promised you all that tonight's show would be about brothers telling their truth. And from the title, you can tell that that's not the case tonight. There's been a change of plans, as you may have guessed. And I apologize for that. If you were really looking forward to that, I know you probably were. Nevertheless, tonight's show will be another show that I'm sure you will find to be very interesting and informative. So let's talk about my achy-breaky heart, heartbreak, and broken heart syndrome. Let us talk about what is that all about, right? What is this whole thing about my achy-breaky heart, and then now talking about heartbreak and broken heart syndrome? So many of us, I'm sure, we've had our hearts broken a time or two. And here we go with that word broken again, right? We're in the Broken Toy series, hence the word broken. That's what we're focusing on this week. This month, and how to heal from all different types of traumas that have caused brokenness. So I find it interesting how we never really pay attention to the words that we frequently use until we take a step back and really examine our vocabulary, like we have been for the past couple of weeks. Hence, again, victim. So sometimes we're using these words and we're just not really paying attention. So let's talk about heartbreak. So what does it mean when someone says, oh, my heart is broken, or he or she broke my heart, or that was heartbreaking for me? Can your heart really break? If so, what causes it? What causes your heart to break, if it can break? So here's an article from Healthline. How does heartbreak affect your overall health? Let's delve into that. Once again, this article is from Healthline. How does heartbreak affect your overall health? Give me just a second. Let me get that up on the screen here for you. So this is, once again, from Healthline. How does heartbreak affect your overall health? Just a second. I've got a few things going on here. Give me just a minute. It says here, going through a breakup and experiencing emotional pain can affect the physical body. It can lead to changes in eating habits, reduced motivation, anxiety, and depression. Maintaining healthy eating habits and engaging socially may help reduce the risks to your health. Here's an overview. Recovering from a breakup can be hard work, and it's not just in your head. There can be physical effects too. I believe 100% that a broken heart and emotional pain can negatively affect physical health, says Courtney Nesbitt, LCSW, which is licensed clinical social worker, who practices individual, couples, and group therapy. The mind is a very powerful organ, and heartbreak is a very powerful emotion. When the two combine, it can certainly produce a physical reaction. Let's talk about pain and the brain. Pain and the brain. Though experts agree that a breakup can cause physical pain and other health effects, the why isn't clear. Recent research has found that people who have recently been through a breakup experience similar brain activity when shown photos of their loved ones as they do when in physical pain. Researchers concluded that rejection and emotional and physical pain are all processed in the same region of the brain. And according to Megan Laszlocky, who has written books about heartbreak, this could be because both the sympathetic and parasympathetic activation systems are triggered simultaneously. The parasympathetic system is the part of your nervous system that handles relaxed functions like digestion and saliva production. It slows the heart rate and breathing. The sympathetic nervous system, on the other hand, gets the body ready for action. It's a fight or flight response that sends hormones rushing through the body to increase heart rate and wake up your muscles. When both are turned on simultaneously, it stands to reason that the body would experience discomfort, possibly even chest pains. Heartbreak can be debilitating. Though we may not know exactly why heartbreak affects our physical bodies the way it does, the effects are many and can be debilitating. I've even experienced patients who have had a stroke or heart attack from the stress of a breakup, says Nesbitt, who cautions that although these are extreme cases, they illustrate how strongly we experience emotional pain. Jennifer Kelman, licensed clinical social worker and life coach, says that the heartbreak can lead to appetite changes, lack of motivation, weight loss or weight gain, overeating, headaches, stomach pains, and a general sense of unwell. Treating the effects of heartbreak while allowing the person to mourn the loss of a relationship can be a tricky balance. Depression, anxiety, and withdrawal from friends, family, and usual activities are some of the most common emotional reactions to heartbreak, to heartache after a breakup. It is a catch-22 because while we want the individual to feel what they feel and mourn this loss, we also do not want them to slip into isolation. So what can you do? What can we do? Kelman suggests that staying active even when you don't want to, maintaining proper eating habits, and engaging with the people in your social circle can help minimize the risk of ill health due to a breakup. Unfortunately, the only remedy for heartbreak and emotional pain is time, adds Nesbitt. We often try to hang on to a relationship afterwards, only prolonging the pain. Unless there are children involved, she recommends the best option is to refrain from contact with the person. That includes social media. So then there's another article here about dealing with depression after a breakup. I am not going to delve so much into that. What I'm going to do is just post this link. Post this link. In the comment box here. What did you all think about that? What did you all think about that? The physical effects. Because when we're talking about breakups, so many times our mind automatically gravitates to a a romantic relationship. But there are so many other relationships that we have in our lives that when we become attached to people, even in platonic relationships, we're talking about jobs, friendships that we've had for a very long time. If you've been on a job for a long time and you've planned, oh my gosh, this is my ideal job, I'm going to stick with this until I retire, and then a couple of years before you're due to retire, something happens and the company may have gone out of business and you may have lost your job, and that's a huge loss. That's a huge loss, and for a lot of people that can also cause a heartbreak. We're talking about people who have had pets for a long period of time, and they've had this pet since it was a baby kitten or a little puppy, and you've had this pet, and it's now in its old age, and and your pet passes away. That can create a heartbreak, because that pet has now become like a family member. So we don't want to isolate heartbreak and minimize it to just being one-dimensional when we're talking about romantic type relationships. We're talking about any type of relationship where your heart has been involved with it. And you've invested a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of emotions in this relationship, and it abruptly comes to an end. Or it may not even be abruptly. It may be where you've noticed there's a decline, but you're not quite ready to let this relationship, whatever it may be, to let it go. And that can also, those type of relationships can cause, as it says here, cause your heart to break. So those are some of the things that we're embarking on tonight, because we're talking about, once again, we're going into brokenness, the traumas that leave us bruised, battered, broken. And here we have relationships and the loss of these relationships that can cause what is considered a heartbreak. So what are some signs of that you have a broken heart? Let's watch the short animated video, 9 signs you have a broken heart. And this one is by Psych2Go. Psych2Go. Sister Carla says, I know for a fact heartbreak affects physical health. Con, it does. It's a stressor. And stress definitely affects physical health, because like I said, we talk about the mind-body-spirit connection. It's really difficult to separate the mind from the body and from the spirit, and vice versa. So whenever we have these traumatic experiences, usually as a whole person, we're going to be impacted. Both, all 3 parts of us, the heart, the mind, the body, and the spirit, are usually affected when we experience trauma. So here's this short animated video, 9 signs you have a broken heart. And this is by Psych2Go.
Psychology and mental health more accessible to everyone. Hey there, Psych2Goers, and welcome back to another video. Before we start, we would like to give you a big thank you for all the support you've given us. Psych2Go's mission is to make psychology and mental health more accessible to everyone. Now, let's get to the video. Have you ever been brokenhearted? While most heartbreaks are associated with romantic relationships, it can happen with platonic and familial relationships as well. What may seem like ordinary moments of sadness may actually be heartbreak. Recent research has shown that there are distinct ways heartbreak can impact your mind and body. So here are 9 signs of a broken heart. 1. Your stress levels are higher than normal. Do you find yourself more stressed out than usual after experiencing a loss or breakup? The experience of heartbreak can actually lead to the release of certain hormones in your brain. Stress hormones like cortisol may be released as a reaction to your heartbreak, making your stress levels abnormally high. It may be triggered by the event or the surrounding events of your heartbreak. 2. You experience physical pain. Did you know that the experience of a broken heart can cause real pain in your body? The sudden surge of cortisol can affect not only your mind, but also your body. Prolonged stress is tough to overcome and can have a multitude of physical effects. According to WebMD, some of the physical signs of stress are headaches, chest pains, having an upset stomach, and frequent colds. 3. You're depressed. Has your heartbreak made you feel miserable for a long period of time? This sadness can be emotionally exhausting and may even lead to depression. According to Healthline, if your brain responds to heartbreak in an unhealthy way, you may experience some depression-like symptoms, such as drastic appetite changes, feelings of worthlessness, and chronic fatigue. 4. You feel emotionally empty. Do you feel like your emotions are blocked or numbed? You're bound to endure some emotional repercussions when the relationship you've invested so much time, love, and energy ends. Emotional emptiness and numbness may be your brain's way to protect you from all the intense emotional pain that comes with heartbreak. It should be noted that prolonged emotional emptiness can be damaging to your mental health. 5. You start to ruminate. Do you constantly think about the breakup? What went wrong? Why did it end? While a little bit of thought and analysis is pretty common, it may turn into rumination if your thoughts become excessive and unwanted. It's a sign of heartbreak, since the constant intrusive thoughts show that your experience is still consuming you. Number 6, you lose your self-control. Have you found yourself going back into your bad habits? A broken heart can bring out less self-control in your actions. According to Jonathan Strum from the Recovery Village, people who have overcome addiction in the past are more susceptible to relapse after a heartbreak. The potential emotional triggers from a breakup and the loss of self-control may be the cause of relapse. 7, you experience withdrawal symptoms. Did you know that love can affect you in a way that's similar to having an addiction? When in love, a chemical called dopamine stimulates your brain's reward system. A breakup, therefore, will cause your brain to suddenly lose this chemical and feeling. It's during this time you may experience withdrawal symptoms similar to ones associated with drug addiction. The symptoms may be different, but can produce similar psychological effects, such as cravings for the relationship you lost. 8, you're grieving. Do you experience some signs and symptoms of grief? Many experts have described a significant overlap between grief and heartbreak. While grief is a very personal experience and can look different for everyone, experts agree that you may experience the general stages of grief following a breakup in a similar way to losing a loved one. And number 9, you're exhausted. Have you noticed changes in your energy levels or in your ability to move through the day? It could mean that your broken heart may be taking a physical toll on you. Exhaustion could come from potential insomnia brought about by heartbreak. Any changes in your sleep patterns can affect your mental and physical well-being. If you're consistently losing sleep, it will definitely impact your energy and productivity level throughout the day. Do you think you have a broken heart? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like and share this video with those who might benefit from it. Subscribe to Psych2Go for more videos like this. The references and studies used in this video are added in the description below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.
So what did you all think about that? 9 signs you have a broken heart. 9 signs you have a broken heart. I know at some point in time, all of us, I'm sure, can relate to everything that was said in that video. right? At some point, something caused our heart to break. Something, someone, some situation. And many times we just figured, oh, well, this is, I'm just having the blues. It may be, you may just think, oh, yeah, this is the blues that I'm experiencing. But like we talked about, so many, if we don't pay attention to these signs, these can lead to further issues such as prolonged depression, anxiety, anger, stress, like we talked, like the video mentioned, also withdrawal from friends and family members, just wanting to isolate and be by yourself. And those are warning signs. Those are red flags, right? If anyone is experiencing anything like that, if someone is that is experiencing anything like that, then the goal would be to try to pull them out of that, try to help them gradually to come out of that. Of course, in the beginning, you expect people to go through what they have to go through, the acceptance stage, all of the stages of grief, the denial, until you finally get to the acceptance phase. But for some people, it takes longer than others. And that can lead to all different types of health issues, right? And that's why we're talking about the heart tonight, because the heart is that organ that tends to take the brunt of it when we have these emotional traumas. The heart takes the brunt of it. So Sister Sierra says, Shalom, gorgeous. Shalom, sis. She says, you said you are ready for another fire and healing. That looks like fire, hot and healing tea time. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, welcome, sis. It's so good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. And Mary says, becoming numb. Yes, some people do go through that numb phase where they said, I just can't even feel anything. Right? And that's your body's protective mechanism as well. It's so that you don't become much too overwhelmed, because what we're going to see also is the flip side of the numb, where your emotion becomes so overwhelming that creates a whole other issue. And we're going to be going into that shortly. So here's another short video. And I really wanted to bring out some videos tonight, because it's one thing to read and it's one thing to talk about it. But sometimes when you're actually seeing the visual, it just allows things to just sink in much better. So this is another short video, again, by Psych2Go. So it's another animated video. And it's, why does heartbreak hurt so much? Why does heartbreak hurt so much? I mean, just the sound of it, heartbreak, it sounds painful. So let's talk about why is it so painful? Why does heartbreak hurt so much?
Why heartbreak hurts. Getting your heart broken happens to all of us at some point, whether it's a romantic relationship, losing a friendship, or some other emotional gut punch that comes with losing someone or something you loved very deeply. But why does it hurt so freaking much? While we still have a lot to learn about how our bodies, emotions, and minds are connected, science can tell us a few things about why heartbreak really just sucks. First, heartbreak is incredibly stressful. That stress can take days, weeks, or even months or years to get over. When you're stressed with something as hurtful as a heartbreak, The same happy hormones that helped you fall in love in the first place, like dopamine and oxytocin, are replaced with cortisol, aka the stress hormone. Cortisol is the hormone our body uses to support our flight or fight responses, so too much of it over time can lead to anxiety, nausea, and other unwelcome symptoms like acne and weight gain. Another reason heartbreak hurts so much, according to some studies, is because your brain has the ability to process emotional pain in the same way as it does physical pain. So when you hear song lyrics like, "It feels like my heart got ripped out," it's not exactly far off from how heartbreak can physically feel. But understanding why heartbreak hurts so much doesn't exactly help you feel any better. So what can you do to get rid of the stress and get back to those happy hormones? First, spend time doing activities you love, and spend time with friends and family who can support you. It's cliche, but eating healthy and exercising is proven to alleviate stress and make you feel good. The phrase "time heals all" is also cliche for a reason. As your stress levels go down, your body will be able to kick out the cortisol and get the happy hormones back in action. If you ever feel alone in your heartbreak, just remember, there are thousands, if not millions, of songs, books, and movies all about this stuff. You are definitely not alone, and this too will pass, even if it doesn't feel like it right now.
So true. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. But those hormones are something else, huh? Those hormones. And we women especially, we have this hormonal thing that goes on. And I tell you, being a woman is just so beautiful, but I'm telling you, it's also it can also be a little challenging, can it, with these hormones that just they do all of this. And so we have to learn how to keep these hormones in check. We know that they have roles to play, right? They have roles to play in our bodies. But especially that cortisol, that stress hormone, that's the one that we really want to keep in check. So finding things that make you happy, things that are fun, things that you enjoy doing. These are the things that we need to spend more time doing to release those feel-good hormones. See, what are you all saying out here? Let's see. Sister Carla says, Khan says, heartbreak can cover so many different situations. Heartbreak over family, friends, job loss, pet loss, so many. Khan. Sister Diane says, bringing to mind so many of Whitney Houston's song, which is what I'm about to get into, sis. Which is what I'm about to get into. Yes, Sister Ahab Karad says, Shalom, sisters. I'm sorry I'm late. No problem, sis. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Yeah, so, understanding that heartbreaks do not only occur due to the breakup of a romantic relationship, but like we said, can also occur due to the death of a family member or pet, breakup of a platonic relationship or friendship, job loss, etc. So what are some of the ways? Post some ways in the chat box, the comment box for me, about what heartbreak feels like to you or have felt like to you. What are some of the ways that you can describe heartbreak? Mary said, numb, becoming numb. How many people felt angry, sad, depressed? Some people kind of just, like we talked about before, just spin out of control because they can't believe that this happened. So what are some of the ways that you would describe what it felt like when your heart was broken? Did you get angry? feels earth-shattering. Khan, that's a great way to put it. That's a great way to put it, Sister Diane. Yes. For some people, yes. Some people say, I was crushed. I was crushed. Some of the same descriptions that we used when we were talking about the broken bones and how that went along with the emotional pain, feeling a void. Sister Zion, Shalom says, so good to see you feeling a void. Yes, like yes, an empty hole, because that person is no longer there. That person just, for whatever reason, they're not there for you to talk to, for you to hold on to, for you to confide in, whatever, depending on what type of relationship it was. So you will feel a void. Sister Carla says anxiety. Yes. Yes. Stressed. Yeah, those are all good, very good descriptions. So speaking of songs, Sister Diane, you opened that door, and who remember, I mean, back in the day, there were so many songs about heartbreak and breakups, and it was like there was just an era. I think it was like in the 80s. In the 80s, there were just so many songs about heartbreak. I think it was the late 70s, 80s. We started hearing so many songs. Who remembers Michael Jackson, Heartbreak Hotel? Tony Braxton, Unbreak My Heart. And of course, the title of this this broadcast tonight, Achy-Breaky Heart by Billy Ray Cyrus. And then there was, I Heard It Through the Grapevine, Marvin Gaye. Remember, was it the 90s, Sister Diane? Was it the 90s? It may have been the 90s. Yeah, the 70s, 80s was the disco thing was going on there. 70s and 80s, it was the disco. We weren't singing so much about heartbreak at that time. It was all groovy back then. It was all groovy. But I Heard It Through the Grapevine with Marvin Gaye. That was another one. Drop some songs in there that you remember that were these heartbreak songs. What songs do you remember? Any Anita Baker song? Oh my goodness. Yes. Anita Baker. Oh, she's one of my favorites. And then who remembers that song? I did not know the name of the group that sang this song until I looked it up today. The group's name was Player, and this song was Baby Come Back. Baby Come Back. And let's see, Mary J. Blige was the Heartbreak Queen. Yes. Unchained Melody by Diana Ross. Oh my goodness. Yes. All of these broken-hearted songs. What was going on back then? What was going on? Don't Break My Heart. Tony Braxton. I think it was that one was Unbreak My Heart. Say You Love Me Again. Yes, she was begging for her heart to be unbroken. Yes, that was the Tony Braxton, Unbreak My Heart. And yeah, Welcome to Heartbreak Hotel. Like I said, Michael Jackson. But this one, Baby Come Back by Player. And there was a part of this in this song where it says, I was wrong and I just can't live without you. And I mean, they were really mourning. And I looked this song up today, and it says that the reason this song, I guess they put so much emotion into it, is because at the time when they made that song, two of the band members, when they performed this song or when they made this song, two of the band members were going through a really bad breakup at that time. So in this song, they were also pleading, oh my gosh, baby, please come back. I can't live without you. So is that true? Sister Johnny says, I remember that song. Is that true? Can your emotions overwhelm you to the point where you can actually die from a broken heart? Is that true? Because this guy was saying, oh my gosh, I was wrong and I just can't live without you. Is it true that he could not live without this person? Where your heart can be so broken that you just don't want to, you just can't live anymore. And Sister Diane says, any Adele song? I'm not familiar with a lot of Adele songs, but was there a lot of heartbreak in her songs as well? Oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah, so we've had plenty of songs that deals with heartbreak. And even that video that we just watched, they said that. They said, oh my gosh, you're not alone. There are plenty of songs out there that deal with heartbreak. And of course, when you're going through that, it seems as though those are the only songs that you want to gravitate to, because this person that's singing that song is basically saying all of the things that you sometimes don't even know how to say. And so you gravitate towards these songs, but is that good or is that bad? Does that kind of prolong the pain and suffering? So let's talk about, we're now going to talk about the broken heart syndrome. We talked about heartbreak, which is, I would say, a milder form of a broken heart than the broken heart syndrome. What is it really? What is it? What is broken heart syndrome? So in this video, broken heart syndrome, Takotsubo cardiomyopathy, and that's a Japanese word, Takotsubo cardiomyopathy, cardiologist Peter Barlis on Heart Matters explain exactly what broken heart syndrome is. So let's look at broken heart syndrome and see how it differs from what we just talked about with heartbreak. Broken heart syndrome, Takotsubo cardiomyopathy. Fair use for educational purposes only.
Good to be with you. It's Peter Barlis here, cardiologist. Now, I wanted to focus on today a condition that we are seeing a little bit more of and we're becoming increasingly aware of, a condition called Takotsubo cardiomyopathy. Now, we may know it as a broken heart syndrome, and I often get asked about this condition, and I thought I'd share with you about what it is and what does it all mean if you are diagnosed with this condition. Takotsubo cardiomyopathy is a condition that we also know as a stress-induced condition, a stress-induced cardiomyopathy. And cardiomyopathy essentially means any condition whereby the heart muscle becomes weaker. And this can be brought on by significant stress. And when I say stress, this can be an emotional stress, a bereavement, hearing some sad news, going through a major illness. But there have also been reports of happiness and elation and people winning major prizes in the lottery, then suddenly develop this condition whereby the stress or the emotional aspects of what we feel triggers off a cascade of hormone changes in our body, which can affect the heart muscle. And it causes a very distinct type of condition whereby it focuses more on the front part of the heart. And when the heart becomes weaker, as we know, it's not pumping as efficiently, and therefore it can cause symptoms. And those symptoms with this condition can be a presentation of chest pain, and your doctor might think that you are having a heart attack with a blockage in an artery. But the heart muscle can become so weak that it can stop pumping adequately, causing fluid to build up in the body, making us feel short of breath, fatigued, fluid building up in our ankles, in our legs. So again, it's an important condition to be aware of. Now, it's named after some containers that were used to catch octopus in Japan, and the particular design of it means that the container has this large belly part with a narrow top, and that narrow top would stop the octopus from coming out. Well, in fact, that's exactly what happens with this condition. We get a ballooning or an enlargement of the front part of the heart that gives us that appearance, like one of these containers. And that, again, typically happens within a short period of time, hours, days, after a significant episode of stress. We do see a few more of these cases in females than we do in males. And again, the presentation is often with shortness of breath, chest pain, fluid buildup. So how is it diagnosed? Well, we diagnose it by an electrocardiogram, so a tracing of the heart, but also an ultrasound of the heart, where we actually can see how the heart muscle is contracting. If there is any suggestion of maybe another cause for this condition, such as a blockage in an artery, then we often do a test called an angiogram to confirm that the arteries are fine. And in this procedure, we can also inject some contrast or dye material inside the heart muscle itself, and we can actually clearly visualize that the front part of the heart becomes weaker. Now, this is often managed with medication, and medication is the cornerstone with this condition, and of course trying to address the underlying stressful event, and that is key here. But medication is very well established at helping to improve the way the heart contracts and to actually make it go back to normal function. And that's the great thing about this condition, that although it can be quite significant in causing the heart muscle to become quite weak, over the course of 6 to 8 weeks, we know that the majority of cases, the heart muscle goes back to completely normal function. So that is great news. So again, a short video just to highlight that this condition called stress-induced cardiomyopathy or broken heart syndrome or Takotsubo cardiomyopathy is a common condition. It's often transient, it can happen with emotional stress, and then the heart muscle improves with medication. But it is important to have regular follow-up with your doctor and specialist to ensure that the heart muscle is improving and that there are certain medications that are very much proven to help speed up the recovery and ensure that the heart muscle remains normal. Thanks for joining me. Until the next video, bye for now.
So there you have it. Wow. Broken heart syndrome, Takotsubo cardiomyopathy. That's a severe reaction to stress, more severe than what we were talking about with the heartbreak, where yes, you're under stress, but you're not experiencing that chest pain and the EKG changes and the ballooning of the heart, those type of symptoms. Sister Johnny says, at that moment, I take it that you were responding to my question about can your heart be so broken that it caused you to die? You said at that moment, it seems like it seems like it until you meet someone else. I'm a witness. Yeah, that's been known to happen. That's been known to happen. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, the heart mends really quickly then, doesn't it? That's a good one, Sister Johnny. Sister Jeanette says, Shalom, sis, I love and miss you. I love and miss you too, sis. I do. We have to catch up. We must catch up. Let's plan to do that. Okay? Yes, so that was a video by cardiologist Peter Ballis on heart matters. And he explained what broken heart syndrome is. But here's another video that I want us to watch, because this video has some very interesting facts and about an area or a consequence that Dr. Barlis did not go into that can happen if you suffer or have a broken heart syndrome, the Takotsubo cardiomyopathy. Here's another consequence that can occur because of that. So this video is called Woman Dies of Broken Heart. And this one is by Dr. Mike Hansen. Woman Dies of Broken Heart. Let's watch this video.
Broken heart syndrome. Is that even a real thing? In 2019, a 65-year-old Italian woman went to her local dentist to get a tooth taken out. It was supposed to be a minor oral surgery. She didn't even need to be put under, just local anesthesia around the tooth, and it just gets plucked out. No big deal, right? Except for the fact that she fainted right after the dentist numbed her up. Maybe the dentist assumed it was just because she wasn't good with needles. But it quickly became clear that something much more serious was happening because she soon went into cardiac arrest. And as EMTs frantically attempted to revive her, the most urgent questions became, what was happening to her and why? But this was no heart attack. This was something different. Harder to spot, but more difficult to diagnose, but equally as dangerous. This was a real case of broken heart syndrome. So let's break down the history of this strange medical condition that had plagued the last 7 years of this woman's life. Broken heart syndrome is a medical mystery that, let's be real, sounds kind of fake. In addition to tracing the story of our Italian dental patient, we're going to discuss how broken heart syndrome was discovered and what it looks like and who is at risk. Buckle up, because this may be one of the most unusual and fascinating health conditions to be discovered in the last, you know what, let's do a pop quiz. When do you think broken heart syndrome was first discovered? Was it A, 1892, B, 1947, C, 1991, or D, 2005? If you said C or D, you'd technically be right-ish, but we'll get to that. For now, let's say that our first correct answer is D, 2005. This syndrome has only been officially recognized by the English-speaking medical establishment since 2005, the year of Hurricane Katrina, a new Catholic Pope, and the creation of this very platform, YouTube. Even though Shakespeare, Dickinson, and Billy Ray Cyrus have been harping on the pain of unrequited love for centuries, the first reported cases of medical achy-breaky heart were only validated in the English-speaking world when Dr. Elon Wittstein published a paper on the condition in the New England Journal of Medicine in 2005. Of course, just like the video game consoles and public transportation, the Japanese had done it before us, and better. That's why you'd be correct if you said C. All the way back in 1991, a team of Japanese researchers published a series of papers documenting their observations of the syndrome. They discovered it. They got to name it, which is why it's officially known as Takotsubo cardiomyopathy. Obviously, broken heart syndrome is a bit more catchy in English, but the reason for this original name is based on a cleverly hidden secret about the condition itself. Takotsubo cardiomyopathy, let's break it down. We'll start with the second word, cardiomyopathy. Now, you may have heard doctors on medical shows rattle this one off. If we break it up, cardio means heart, myo means muscle, pathy means disease. These are all from Greek roots. Doctors love Greek roots. So put them all together, and cardiomyopathy refers to a disease that affects the heart muscle and subsequently its ability to pump blood to the rest of the body. This happens when the heart muscle becomes weakened from stiffening or scarring or both. So then, what's the first word about Takotsubo? Because that's where the secret lies. Real quick, Anatomy 101, your heart. It's got 4 chambers, divided into left and right atrium and left and right ventricles. Separating them are valves. What you need to know is that the biggest chamber, the left ventricle, is responsible for pumping oxygen-rich blood past the aortic valve, and it delivers all that blood to your organs, well, except for your lungs, because that's pumped by the right ventricle. But notice the shape of the left ventricle. What does that shape look like to you? An arrowhead, a leech, an organ used for reproduction? I don't know, but this is how it's supposed to look. Here comes your fun fact. Takotsubo in Japanese breaks down into tako meaning octopus, subo meaning pot. Huh? Takotsubo actually isn't a medical term. It's a type of pot that's used by Japanese fishermen. When Japanese doctors first observed this condition, they took one look at that left ventricle and they said, hey, that looks like one of those pots that catches octopuses, or is it octopi? I don't know. But that's what it looks like. It causes the left ventricle to swell up like a balloon down below with a narrow neck above. Which takes us back to our 65-year-old Italian woman. How do we know that she was suffering from this? 7 years before, she'd been admitted into a hospital with symptoms of chest pain and fainting. And at that time, her echocardiogram, meaning ultrasound of the heart, revealed that her left ventricle wasn't pumping so well. And it also showed that the left ventricle was ballooning down below with a narrowed neck. Now, to compare this echocardiogram image to our heart drawing, we'll have to flip it upside down. Look at that, classic Takotsubo cardiomyopathy. She recovered fully within a couple of weeks, but a year later, she's back in the hospital with the same scans, same results, and ultimately the same recovery. And then she has a third episode, which maybe you think she's just going to have a repeat of the same thing all over again, right? But hold on a second. Why does this happen to the left ventricle? And why did our Italian woman suffer from broken heart syndrome in the dentist's office of all places? As you might have guessed from the name, researchers originally theorized that a big emotional shock was the precursor to this condition. A lot of circumstantial evidence supported that theory. So back in 2004, for example, there was a huge earthquake that rocked central Japan. And in the months that followed, no fewer than 16 people were diagnosed with this condition. And that makes sense. A bunch of people lose their homes in a traumatic natural disaster. That's hugely stressful. Other researchers reported seeing broken heart syndrome in patients who had recently lost a loved one. Another patient was panicking because of gambling losses. Another because of the stress of their job. In fact, grief, fear, anger, and even surprise have all been reported as precipitating episodes of broken heart syndrome. So, at risk of downplaying the seriousness of this condition, I have to say, some of the triggers for broken heart syndrome are kind of wild. Which of the following is an actual reported trigger of broken heart syndrome? A, winning the lottery. B, unexpectedly asked to give a speech at work. C, a beloved pet labradoodle being threatened while on a walk. D, trying to apply hair dye while camping, your tent blowing away, being forced to go grab the tent and re-spike it, all the while stressing out about what color your hair is going to end up since you've had the dye in your hair for too long. This is a trick question because the answer is E, all of the above. Yep. So did our Italian dental patient suffer from a recent loss? Was her heart literally broken? We don't know the cause of her first 2 episodes of broken heart syndrome. But in the case of her 3rd episode, it doesn't appear to have been an emotional trigger. More recent research has revealed that statistically, physical triggers cause a higher percentage of cases than emotional ones. So a multi-year study that was published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that physical triggers like an accident, a broken bone, head trauma, major health complications like pneumonia or drug withdrawal and surgery are present in 1/3 of cases, which is about the same number for emotional triggers as the cause. Also, about 1/3 of cases have no apparent trigger at all. And this is a diagnosis that can be pretty tricky to pick up on: chest pain, nausea, fainting. Those symptoms can occur with a much more common diagnosis, a heart attack or myocardial infarction. But while a heart attack involves blood vessels in your heart getting blocked by plaque buildup, this is entirely different. And just as the Italian woman had done twice before when she was hospitalized for those symptoms, doctors need to image your heart by performing an echocardiogram, coronary angiography, or MRI to make the distinction. But who is actually more likely to get this syndrome? In a survey of over 1,700 patients with broken heart syndrome, nearly 90% were women. Women are 9 times more likely than men. Age is another big factor, the average age being 67. Patients with broken heart syndrome were twice as likely to have been diagnosed with a neurologic or psychiatric disorder. Yeah, over half of patients had a history of mental issues, which was what happened with this lady. At the time of her dental appointment, she was taking benzodiazepines for an anxiety disorder. But even if you fall into all of these demographics, that doesn't necessarily mean that you'll get it. So just how common is it? Well, between 2006 and 2017, there were slightly under 140,000 cases of this that were reported in the United States. That's about 13,000 cases per year. But keep in mind that increasing awareness of this condition means that the number of cases diagnosed every year is also increasing. And because broken heart syndrome is so hard to distinguish from a heart attack, a lot of these cases still go misdiagnosed, whether as it's being diagnosed as acute coronary syndrome, such as a heart attack, or sometimes it could be diagnosed as a simple panic attack. In fact, doctors think that 2% of acute coronary syndrome diagnoses may actually be broken heart syndrome. That may not sound like a lot, but with 16 million people in the US alone diagnosed with various heart conditions every year, that's an estimated 320,000 people being misdiagnosed on an annual basis. For a long time, broken heart syndrome appeared relatively benign. A large majority of patients do recover within 2 to 4 weeks, and the left ventricle goes back to its non-octopus pot shape. But what do you think the short-term mortality rate is for someone experiencing an episode of this condition? Is it A, 1 to 2%, B, 3 to 5%, C, 10%, or D, 18%? The answer is B, 3 to 5%, but C and D are relevant for us as well, because while immediate death rates are under 1 in 20, wait just 1 year after an initial diagnosis of broken heart syndrome, and the mortality rates are much higher. One study found that mortality rates after a year were 10% for female patients, while men were all the way up to 18%. These are comparable to mortality rates for heart attacks. Worldwide, broken heart syndrome deaths may be as high as 40,000 per year. In this case, her 3rd episode of broken heart syndrome, brought on by the stress of getting a minor dental surgery, led to her going into cardiac arrest, and she died not long after. An autopsy revealed that there was no coronary artery disease or valvular disease, no heart attack, but it did show extremely unusual apical ventricular ballooning, and there's your diagnosis. But how does broken heart syndrome develop in the first place? Medical theories should always start with the medical facts. We know women are 9 times more likely to get it than men, and far more likely to develop it when they're older than age 55. Around age 50, menopause hits and the production of estrogen starts declining. Estrogen is a hormone that regulates a lot of stuff, including protecting the heart from the harmful effects of norepinephrine, aka adrenaline. When we get super stressed out, we enter this fight or flight mode and the body releases catecholamines. These hormones, epinephrine and norepinephrine, can wreak havoc on the body. Think about what would happen if you go for a walk and all of a sudden you see a huge bear walking toward you. Your fight or flight mode kicks in, your heart is pumping harder and faster because of these hormones. And sometimes these hormones whip the heart so much it ends up overworked and it weakens. Also, anxiety and depression likely plays a role in this as well. So estrogen also influences the production of neurotransmitters like norepinephrine, serotonin, dopamine, and low levels of certain neurotransmitters are associated with depression. But there is still a lot we don't know. This research is still in its early stages. And weirdly enough, one of the drugs most often given to reduce the effects of adrenaline, that would be beta blockers like metoprolol, appears to have no effect on mortality rates when given to people with broken heart syndrome. We know that you can die of broken heart syndrome, although it's unlikely, but we still don't know quite why. But at least you now know the Japanese word for an octopus catching pot. Extensive cardio.
Wasn't that informative? Sister Sierra says, my goodness. Yes, yes. I told you this was going to be a very informative show tonight. Who knew about that? Who had ever heard of broken heart syndrome or Takotsubo cardiomyopathy for that matter? Fair use for educational purposes. Thank you, Sister Diane. No, it's not a taco. The taco is Spanish. The taco, subo is Japanese. So it's not a Japanese taco. Oh, Sister Sarah says, my goodness. Sister Carla says, wow, yeah, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? You know, how many of you out there knew about broken heart syndrome? How many of you knew about broken heart syndrome? Have you heard of it before, but probably just didn't know all of the scientific facts that, you know, about it, but had heard about it? So I must admit that although I've been a medical provider for umpteen years, this medical condition was not taught or even addressed in my training back in 1996, 1997 timeframe. I don't recall it. I don't recall hearing about this in my training, nor any time beyond that. But since I was a child, I remember hearing my mother speak about people dying from a broken heart. She would say, oh, this person died from a broken heart. This goes way, way back. And I also remember her singing that song about Christ, about Jesus dying of a broken heart for you and me. Who is old enough to remember that hymn from back in the day? He died of a broken heart for you and me, or for thee. Yeah, years ago, in my childhood, I heard about, I remember my mother singing that song. And so although I had heard about it, it was not a condition that I have ever diagnosed anyone with. Sister Carla says, not broken down on this level. We just heard, the term. It was basically just a term, broken heart. Somebody died from a broken heart, or I had a broken heart. So in the medical world, we've all been trained to identify symptoms of and how to diagnose heart attacks. And however, in my experience, broken heart syndrome or Takotsubo cardiomyopathy was not commonly addressed. And maybe that was because I didn't work in the ER, where most of these people probably would obviously present, would be in the ER, or even in the cardiology setting. I've worked in urgent cares, but most people with chest pains go straight to the ER, not to an urgent care. And I had never worked in an ER or in the cardiology setting. But even still, going into an emergency room, the first thought more than likely would be, oh, this person is having a heart attack. And like the doctor was saying, that's where you now have to do these further tests to see if they fit into that category. And since this did not become it was in 2005 that we really started recognizing this condition here in the United States. So think about all of the people prior to that were, like he said, dismissed with anxiety, or, you know, maybe just having an acute stress reaction. And especially since the heart function goes back to normal, I think he said after a few weeks. Yeah, so I thought this would be a very interesting topic to delve into, especially with women. Heart attacks usually present atypically from the way they present in men. So we already have that situation. And now to know that especially women over the age of 55, because of what decline in the estrogen, we are at higher risk for this. And also with us being more emotional. I mean, this woman went in to have a tooth pulled, and she ended up having obviously an anxiety attack. She was taking benzodiazepines, which are anti-anxiety medications. So she obviously had an anxiety disorder, and just the stress from having a tooth pulled caused her to have one of these episodes, and she died. So this is one of the reasons why I really enjoy what I do here on Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty. I mean, I really enjoy having these shows. Why? Because as a child, I enjoyed reading and learning. Since I was a child, I'm constantly, even in my adult life, learning and reading and wanting to learn more. I'm always hungry for more knowledge, let me put it that way. And so having these shows that push me to do research and to dig deeper into topics that some of the topics I may already have knowledge on, and also learning new things that I may have a little to no knowledge about. But each time that I have these shows, it allows me to expand my knowledge, and to also not only for myself, but to also now bring this information to you all so that we can all learn and grow together. And I really, really enjoy having these shows because I think that knowledge is powerful. And, you know, having more information helps us to make better decisions in life. So this topic happened to fall in line with this month's theme, broken toys. And as you all know, tonight's episode, you know, like I said previously, was to be on an entirely different topic. And when that fell through, I know it was the Holy Spirit that, you know, I must give credit where it's due to the Holy Spirit, dropped this topic on me just late Friday night. When I say late Friday night, I'm talking about, I think it was like somewhere around maybe close to midnight, because I wasn't even sure if I would be having a show tonight when the other topic fell through. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do. And so Friday night, this topic dropped in my spirit, and I started doing my research, and praise the Most High, this was this was the outcome. I can't even take credit for this. So do any of you know anyone personally that suffered from broken heart syndrome or actually died from it? Or you may now in hindsight, in retrospect, you can look back and say, well, maybe that's what that was. Do any of you, does this bring any of that back from maybe the past of where someone may have complained about chest pains or what have you, the symptoms that we just learned about, went to the hospital and was told, oh, okay, you're fine. Or had all these tests ran and they said, no, you didn't have a heart attack. And then they were sent away and then they got better? Or did someone that you know, because I also saw some other videos where there was one video in particular where it was an elderly couple and they had been together, I think, for 60 something years. And they both were sick and they were in the hospital in bed side by side. And they were just so close their entire life. And I think it was the husband that passed away first, and right after the wife passed away as well. And they basically said that she died of a broken heart. And then there was another video about she was an actress. I don't remember her name, but she passed away suddenly. And her mother passed away the day after. And they also said that because of the stress of losing her daughter, that's what happened to her as well. So she also died of a broken heart. So, wow. So the bottom line is, right? The bottom line is that we are just to stay healthy as much as we can by eating right, eating a heart healthy diet. We talked about the Mediterranean diet a few shows ago. So I would recommend those of you that haven't seen the shows about the Mediterranean diet. We also did some shows about exercise, the importance of exercise, the importance of sunlight and rain, stress. We talked about how to manage stress. And so these are the things that we need to really start incorporating into our lives. Maintaining healthy boundaries. That's important because so many of us have, relationships or have jobs that there are no boundaries. And this causes us to be so stressed out because we don't know how to set healthy boundaries. So that's a goal, learning how to set healthy boundaries for yourself, maintaining a balanced lifestyle, keeping negative stress at a minimum. And like we said, balance, because even it was brought out that even having extreme happiness, or like in winning the lottery, that was one of the scenarios where you would think that, oh wow, this is a great thing, but for someone whose heart just couldn't handle that excitement, they may die of a broken heart. So there's just so many things that we need to learn to keep in check. Sister Carla says, going to try and make it to the gym tonight. Amen. So exercise, healthy boundaries, balanced lifestyle, keeping negative stress at a minimum, heart healthy diet. Protect your heart. And most importantly, stay prayed up. Stay prayed up. Because in doing so, that helps to keep your stress levels low. And know the warning signs. Know the warning signs. We just went over all of that. And address them if they occur. Do not just ignore warning signs. Right? Wow. Any sisters, do you all have any questions, any comments? I know tonight's show was it was about a normal length of time. Okay. I thought it would be a lot shorter, but I think that we covered some really important information tonight. Sister Diane says, yes, that was Carrie Fisher. Yes. You are so right. Carrie Fisher and her mother, Debbie Reynolds. Carrie died on 27 December, and her mother died on December 28th. Correct. Yes. You are so right. Yeah, that was a big story. That was a big story back then. Yeah. So, wow. Any questions, any comments, sisters? Did you enjoy the show? Did you learn a lot? I hope that you did. I hope you did. Because like I said, this topic just Friday night, late Friday night. So praise the Most High. Praise the Most High, because wow, a lot of this stuff I did not know. Because like I said, I had not really been privy to a lot of this information on how how it presents. The water, Sister Johnny, the water. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. And like I said, we learned a lot together about this topic. So next week's show is the fourth and final Broken Toys show on in this series, the fourth and final show in this series on Broken Toys. And episode 4 is Breaking Trauma Bonds, Not Each Other. Breaking trauma bonds, not each other. So we're going to learn how to break those bonds, those trauma bonds, but not break each other. And I think that's going to be very, very informative as well. I do believe that Kiara Banks, the therapist that you all have met, that's been on this show a few times, that she will be back. I really believe that she will be back. We have to confirm. I have to confirm with her this week to make sure, but I do believe that she will be back next week for this episode. Breaking trauma bonds, not each other. So let's see what I see some comments here. Sister Zion says, what is amazing is that this reminds me of Sarah in the Bible. I was thinking about that, Sister Zion, when she was brokenhearted, when she thought that Isaac was dead, and then when she learned that he was alive, she was so overjoyed that, and it cut off. But I think before it cut off, you meant to say that she died, and that's true. Yes, that is a great reminder of in the Bible where we see this happening, right? Yep, the water for that, Sister Zion, the water for that reminder. Sister Carla says, Whitney Houston and her daughter, Bobby, I truly believe she did miss her mother. Khan, yes, I think her depression, her grief was so strong. Sister Diane says, yes, I learned. Sister Diane says, yes, I learned a lot about Takotsubo myopathy. Yes. Sister Carla says, what a great show, sis. The water. The water, sisters. The water. And Ayanda Bar. So, sisters, I hope that you found the information that was presented tonight useful. If you did, please do me a favor and share this video with your sister friends and relatives. And let's just continue to grow this channel so that the information can reach Hebrews throughout the four corners of the earth. And even those that are not Hebrews but are willing to be a part of our community. Because I aim to bring content on this show that is so relevant to us, to women. And not just Hebrews, but women from all walks of life, right? Because we all have the same hormones. So we have a lot of challenges as women. And, I think coming together and learning together, this helps us to on this journey called life together. And the content that I bring on this show, I really do hope that you find it to be informative. And please, please, please do me a favor, if there is a specific topic that you would like to have presented on this show, please you can send me an email, shebrewroyaltybiz@gmail.com, or you can post it in the comment box. And, if it's not something that I'm well versed on, we'll learn together, or I can get someone, I will attempt to get someone on the show that is, that specializes in whatever that topic may be. So please, if there's a topic that you would like presented on the show, please reach out to me and let me know. All right, so we are to let our light shine so that others can be led to the source of the light. All right, so that's the goal, is just being that light in dark places. So sisters, continue to allow your light to shine so that others can be led to the source of the light, who we know is Yeshaya HaMashiach, or who the world calls Jesus Christ. Continue to shine that bright light. I love you and always appreciate you taking time out of your very, very busy schedule to have tea and conversation with me. The water. Thank you so much for your support. Know that I'm praying for you. I'm praying for us. And until the Most High brings us back together, may you prosper and be in good health. And remember, true healing begins inwardly before it is expressed outwardly. I am your hostess, Kwala Yakaka, a voice of reasoning and justice. Good night. Ahabatha. Love you all so much. Shalom. If it's the Most High's will, I will see you next Sunday, same tea time, same tea channel. Shalom, sisters.